Hello friends, today I am going to reveal some true facts about building positive relationship with all students. Relationship with students and teachers. But first of all, I request you to please share and subscribe my channel for getting my informative true facts videos uninterrupted. Now, on subject, building positive relationship with all students. Ensuring that all students feel welcomed by, connected to and a sense of trust with the adults in the building. But first of all, I am going to reveal page of a diary of a high school teacher. Please listen, page of a diary of high school teacher. I have come to the conclusion that I am the decisive element in my classroom. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. I possess tremendous power to make my student life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether the crisis will be escalated or de-escalated and a person humanized or dehumanized. I am again repeating the page of the diary of the teacher. I have come to the conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. I possess tremendous power to make my students' lives miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated and a person humanized or dehumanized. These are wordings of page of a diary of high school teacher. Now turn and talk activity. Discuss the difference between having acquaintance with students versus positive relationship. Discuss the difference between adopting an intentional versus a passive approach to a relationship with students. Why are positive relationships foundational to the social, emotional and academic success? Building relationship. Come to the subject, building relationship. The quality of teacher-student relationship is a keystone for all other aspects of classroom management. A student talk about teacher-student relationship. Strategically and intentionally, building positive relationship with all students is very much important. Building relationship is a precondition to student learning. All people are more likely to perform in the context of a positive, nurturing relationship. Basics of building a relationship. Basics. Spending time with the person, showing them you care and can be trusted, holding a conversation with the student, ask questions and listen, be an expert about kid culture, what it means to be a kid these days. Schedule time to meet with each student to discover their interests, affinities, likes and dislikes. Strategically and intentionally, building positive relationship with all students is very much important. Use sentence completion form and direct interview techniques. References this information strategically in conversations, greeting at the door. Introduction of new curriculum content etc. Low rate of attention. It is important. The average teacher fails to take advantage of the power of attention. Approval statement for academic responses far outweigh those for social behavior. Highest rates of attention for social behavior occur in second grade and decrease dramatically after that. Teachers respond more frequently to inappropriate social behavior than to appropriate social behavior. This attention inadvertently maintains or increases the misbehavior. Some students are starved for any type of attention. Everything the teacher does as well as the manner in which he does. It incites the child to respond in some way or another, and each response tends to set the child's attitude in some way or other. Interaction is a cycle. Now come to the adult reaction and student behavior. A student feeling leads to a student behavior. A student's feeling leads to adult feeling, and adult feeling leads to adult reaction. This interaction is a cycle. Self-concept is the picture people construct of who they are and how they fit into the perceived world, as per William Parkey. Self-concept is the picture people construct of who they are and how they fit into their perceived world. Activity. The effects on a student-teacher relationship based on classroom management profile. Remember, relationships, the basics for effective teaching. Establish, maintain, reconnect, repair, restore when broken, kindness, firmness, fair and consistent. Turn and talk, left elbow partner. This is the most important point. Regarding insights you have just developed based on the information about building relationship with your students. A step to implementing the procedure. What specific practice will all staff engage in which each student to establish a relationship with each student? Individual child time with each student. Gathering information to reference about students in the context. Sentence completion forms. Surveys completed by parents about interest, pets, family, home visit etc. What specific practices will staff implement during the maintenance phase to sustain the quality of the relationship? 5:1 ratio of positive to negative interactions, positive greetings at the door, random special activities with each student that occur periodically. What specific restorative practices will be implemented intentionally when harm has occurred in the relationship between a student and a specific staff person? Meet with the student privately, engage in effective communication, take ownership for the situation, apologize, discuss how you will let the previous incident go. Tell the student you care for them and know they can be successful. Provide examples to your partners of how you implement 4 of the 8 bulleted points. Document 1-2 of those practices on the specific practice to establish, maintain and restore positive relationship with the students in the form, that is the first box. The 5:1 ratio of positive negative interactions with the students, the magic ratio, 5:1 is the magic ratio. Paying attention to behavior, to positive interactions consist of words, gestures, thumbs up, or physical contact pat on the shoulder, high five that have positive quality to them and are delivered response to desirable behavior. Positive notes home, second-hand compliments. Identify specific times during the day that you will provide positive feedback on individual behavior or class performance. Turn and talk, left elbow partner. Share examples of how you currently implement the 5 bulleted strategies and how you might begin to use unused strategies to develop relationship with your students. Documents 1-2 of this practice on the specific practices to establish, maintain and restore positive relationship with a student from the second box. Restoring and repairing the relationship after harm has been done. R3, this is important, R3. R3 means reconnect, repair and restore. That is the restoring and the repairing the relationship after harm has been done. Schedule time to reconnect with the student. Communicate effectively to repair. Letting go of the previous interaction. Do over, that is fresh start. Ownership for the problem. Admitting one's own mistake. A statement indicating care for the student. Forgive the student and or ask for forgiveness. What to restore the relationship with a student? Share example of how you have restored a harmed relationship with a student. Document a strategy your partners have used on specific practices to establish, maintain and restore positive relationship with their students. Form, that is third box. Document a strategy your partner has used on the specific practices to establish, maintain and restore positive relationship with their students. Form, that is third box. On the activity sheet, documents your relationship with the status with 3 of your more problematic students. Practice classroom management strategies. Relationship strategies and procedural strategies. Relationship strategies I am going to discuss first of all. 5:1, positive to negative statements. Smiling. Positive greetings at the door. Pre-correct. Communicating competently. Wise feedback. Intermediate non-contingent reinforcement individual and whole group. Procedural strategies. Organizing a productive classroom. Pre-correction. Teach, model and reinforce social emotional skills. Transitions are managed well. Independent seat work is managed and used when needed. Teacher proximity and mobility. Class-wide motivation system. Goal setting, problem solving and performance feedbacks. Visual schedule of class activities. Effective queuing system to release and regain attention. Numerous opportunity to respond, active engagement. All these are proactive classroom management strategies. Connecting the dots. How will you use the teaching matrix to guide us through the process of relationship building? Use the matrix bullet point to help develop a communication and feedback. Just draw an apple and using the matrix bullet point to help develop communication and feedback. They are the practice to make positive relationship. When acknowledging positive behavior, feedback should use the same matrix vocabulary used to clarify the expectations, identify the specific behavior being acknowledged, link the behavior to one of the school-wide rules. Thank you for helping to clean up the spill. That was very responsible of you. Level of structure. The greater the number, percentage of high needs a student, the greater the need to provide frequent feedbacks. A student needing high structure demonstrates many risk factors. If kids are trying to meet expectations and no one notices, they will start to think, why bother? The kids will start to think, why bother? Positive interactions consisting of words. The gestures or physical contact that have a positive quality to them are delivered contingent on desirable behavior. Helps a student learn expected behaviors and teachers and build stronger relationships. Reprimands or corrective statement work better in the context of positive reinforcing environment. Encouraging expected behavior. Teachers should interact with a student 5 times more often when they are behaving appropriately than when they are behaving inappropriately. 5:1 ratio is an important ratio. Interactions with a students are considered positive or negative based on the behavior in which the student is engaged at the time attention is given. Negative interactions are not wrong and are sometimes necessary. The key is the ratio. Ignore the problem behavior and catch the students meeting expectations, especially positive feedback. The behavior you pay the most attention to is the behavior you will get more of the future. What do these words sound like? I am going to give words. Shohan, you did a great job keeping hands, feet and objects to yourself as you walk down the hall. Thanks for showing respect for all the students in the hall. Thanks to everyone for remaining on task for the whole period. You all showed great efforts and showed how responsible you are. Anand, great jobs walking to the trash can to throw away your garbage. You have to keep the cafeteria safe. Smiling and being nice. This is also in gestures. Mirror neurons. Neurons that fire when another person acts. The neurons mirror behavior of the other. Implication. Students learn by modeling from adults and peers. Students will treat us how we treat them. How we treat them. Plus, people who have smiled more live an average of 7 years longer than those who have smiled less. You had me at all. Positive greetings at the door, important. Positive verbal or non-verbal interactions with the students as they walk in. Verbal and non-verbal. Use your smiles. Physical touch as appropriate. Physical touch when needed or appropriate. Use your students' name. Establish a positive atmosphere and pre-correct problems behavior. Show enthusiasm that they are there. Now, again, what do these words sound like? Good morning. You showed great effort and responsibility yesterday when you completed the reading assignment. Way to go. I know you are capable of doing it again. Good afternoon. Welcome back. You demonstrate respectful behavior yesterday when you didn't respond to Anand's teaching. I know that took a lot of effort for you. I would like to thank everyone for safely leaving the building yesterday during that fire drill by following fire drill procedures. Great job. Engagement and teachers with severe disabilities. Share an example of a statement you currently make while greeting students at the door. Reframe that statement if you currently do not tie the language to a specific matrix bullet point. Communicating competently. Delivering effective praise. Contingency, specificity, sincerity, process, effort, use of a strategy. Delivering effective reprimand or corrective statements. Empathy statement. Don't get caught up in the content. Non-threatening soft voice and proximity. Can you hear your students? Can you hear your students? Or are they too busy listening to you? What do these words sound like? Important. What do these words sound like? You responded to Anand's request for you to move very calmly using appropriate language. Thanks you for being so respectful. Thank you for opening your book to learn more about the Civil War. That was very responsible for you to follow directions the first time I asked. I could tell you that you were anxious to get into class. Thank you for safely walking down the hall. Especially positive feedback. Contingent attention is essential to change and sustain behavior. Recognize effort or successes a task that are difficult for the child. While general praise contributes to a pleasant classroom, it is insufficient to build and sustain desired behavior. Students need clear specific feedback on school-wide expectations as well as other behaviors that are extensions of those expectations. Effective pledge statements and less effective pledge statements. I am going to give you what type of statements. Effective pledge statements. Excellent job listening and following directions the first time. Less effective, good job. Effective pledge. Your eyes are on me and your mouth is quiet. Thank you for being ready to learn. Less effective, excellent. Effective, way to go. You asked for help and completed your math work correctly before the end of class. Less effective, good work. Providing feedback. Why is feedback important? Providing feedback to a student by placing high expectations to the student and the beliefs to the student in the student's ability to meet those expectations. Example, the reason why I am giving you this feedback is because I have high expectations for my students and I know you are just the type of a student who is capable of meeting them. I believe in you. Should be delivered in private. Foster a growth mindset of a student's ability. Now, what do these words sound like? Rita, you disagreed with Anand, but you stopped and took some time to think. Use the appropriate language and settled the disagreement peacefully. That was very respectable to Anand and to the rest of our class. Hey, Arav, thanks for using materials appropriately by putting them away at the end of the project. That's so respectful for your classroom. Rita, thanks for being responsible by being on time to class. That is important at schools and when you are on the job. Some non-examples are there. Okay, keep going. That is prompt. Does anyone know what we are supposed to be doing right now? This is a prompt disguised as a sarcasm. Does anyone know what we are supposed to be doing right now? This is a prompt disguised as sarcasm. Adult proximity and mobility. Frequent adult movement throughout the classroom increases academic engagement. It prevents up to a 40-50% of problem behavior. Proximity to a student is an effective and simple corrective which reduces challenging behavior in the students. Teach like the floor is on fire. Teach like the floor is on fire. Feedback may be delivered while teachers move throughout the classroom. Scan, move about the room and interact individually with the student to provide positive feedback, encouragement and correction. Now, what do these words sound like? You are showing great responsibility by beginning the do now that after I reminded you. Thank you for that. Thank you for lending Anand the pencil. You showed him respect and kindness. I can see that he appreciated that. Thank you for putting your feet under your desk to let your classmates pass. That helps to keep our classroom safe. Scan, move, interact with the left of the elbow partner. Referencing the appropriate bulleted point for scanning, moving and interacting, see here how you have provided wide feedback and adult proximity and mobility. Class-wide motivation system. All the students working together to obtain a common reinforcing experience. Allow a student to receive payoff for maintaining on-task behavior. Maybe a positive specific praise alone or accompanied by a tangible reward. Add on additional layer of motivation. Adds on additional layer of motivation for all for one for all, to each his own and mystery. Promote desirable behavior. System of delivering reinforcing experiences or contingent access to desired activity or privilege based on performance. Allow the student to receive payoff for maintaining on task behavior. Helps a student who are not necessarily intrinsically motivated to exhibit certain pro-social behavior or maintain academic engagement when don't feel like this. Now, what do these words sound like? You follow directions. The first time I asked to get ready for the lesson because it's so responsibility you have earned an on ticket. You should respect to Anand when you politely told her why you were upset. You should respect to Anand when you politely told him why you were upset. I know that can be hard for you. That deserves a cardinal card. Thanks to all you all for walking safely on the right side of halfway from music that has earned the class a marble in our acknowledgement jar. Turn and talk. See your class-wide and or school-wide motivation system. How have these practices impacted your relationship with your students? In my next video, I will give you some other aspects of building positive relationship with all students in all grades. Thanks.